Hello there, stampers and crafters. I'm Tammy Williams, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I can be found at tammylovesstamping.com. That's my blog website, and today I'm coming to you to talk about watercolor pencils. Stampin' Up! Has some watercolor pencils that you can purchase along with blender pens, and I want to show you today how you can use the two products together, the watercolor pencils and the blender brush, to make some very pretty images with your stamps and your stays on ink. So let's turn the camera around and get started. So this is the annual catalog. On page 126 is where you will find the watercolor pencils, and like I said, there's two different kinds you can get: assortment 1 and assortment 2. Assortment 1 has 13 pencils, and assortment 2 has 10 pencils of various colors. Basic black, basic gray, Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Early Espresso, Melon Mambo, Old Olive, Pacific Point, Pumpkin Pie, Real Red, Rich Raspberry, and White. And assortment 2 has Balmy Blue, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Coastal Cabana, Crushed Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Garden Green, Gorgeous Grape, and Granny Apple Green, and Night of Navy. So these watercolor pencils are just great because they're also numbered, so which is kind of cool. So on the back it'll tell you the color and the number. So like for example, number 8 is Rich Raspberry, which is one of my favorite colors. And see right here, it says it's got the name on it and the number, Rich Raspberry and 8, and also the color on the end of the tip, so that it's easy to know. Like if you just opening your box, you can quickly find what color you're looking for. So that's assortment 1, and this is assortment 2. Same kind of deal. So, and they also have the color on the end and the name and the number, so you know which number goes in which box if you have both boxes like I do. So today I'm going to make a card using the watercolor pencils and the blender brushes. The blender brushes are on page 129, right here up in the corner, number 8. These are the blender brushes, and they come in a pack of 3, so you get 3 dual-tipped blender pens, and they're only $10, so a little more than $3 per blender pen. And like I said, they're dual tipped, so you can use either end, and they last forever. And you really don't even need 3, so if you want to give one away, you can, because they clean up so nicely when you dip them in the ink. When you're done with your ink, you just rinse them off on a scrap piece of paper until they run clean, and then you put the cap back on and they're good to go until the next time you're ready to use them again. So those are the blender pens. And then the other thing that you need is stays on ink, which is on the same page as the blender pens. This jet black stays on ink, so that is here as well. And the stays on ink comes in 2 different colors, saddle brown and jet black, but I'm using the jet black. And then the other thing that I'm going to be using today is the In the Moment stamp set. So that is on page 112 of the annual catalog, In the Moment. It's a 6 cling stamp set, so you get 6 different stamps, 3 sentiments, and 3 images. And we're going to be using the image of the girl with holding her hat and holding a little glass of something in her hand. And we'll get started. So I've got a piece of cardstock here and my stays on ink and my stamp. Here's my stamp from the In the Moment stamp set, and I've attached it to my acrylic block, and I'm going to ink it up And the reason I want to use the StazOn is because it won't smear or smudge if it gets wet. It won't bleed if it gets a little bit moist, because the blender pens have some moisture in them, some solution in them that will mix up your watercolor pencils, and you don't want your black ink to bleed into the color that you put on your image. So there is my image, and then I'll close up my StazOn, put that aside, and then I'm going to get out my colored pencils, and let's see, what color do we want to use. I'm thinking we want to use maybe some brown for her hat. So here's some early espresso, and so I'm just going to use my watercolor pencils and color in her hat. And then I'm also going to color her hair a little bit with the same color, just to give it a little bit more pronounced color. And then if you notice now, when you're coloring with the pencils, it kind of leaves some lines and some squiggles and things that make the coloring look uneven. But when we use our blender pen, that is going to take that right out, and that's the magic of the blender pen. So there is the hat, and so then let's do her shirt, and we'll do her shirt in what is this color? Bermuda Bay. And just color it all in quite nicely. And you really it doesn't really matter, you know, which direction you go or anything, because like I said, the blender pen is going to get rid of all these lines and all the white space in between the lines when we go over it with the blender pen solution. I think I'm going to make her skirt black. And then the only thing we have left to color is the deck, or the railing, and her, whatever's in her glass. We'll say maybe wine, or if it's wine, maybe we'll use some rich raspberry to make it kind of a rosé color. And then for the railing, we're going to do, let's see, what's this? Crushed curry? No. How about Cajun craze? Oh, I got a little bit on her of the Cajun craze, but I can probably take that off with my blender pen. So we're almost done here, and then I will show you how cool the blender pen is when you use it along with these watercolor pencils. All right, get that out of the way. So now, I don't know if you can see this, but you can kind of see the lines in her skirt and the lines in her shirt and in her hat. But now if you watch what I do here, I'm just gonna go over, this is kind of like a paintbrush. You just kind of paint over where you colored it with the pencil, and see how it just blends all that in. And I'm going to do the same with her hair because it's the same color. Before you switch colors, you want to make sure you clean your blender pen. You don't want to get two colors mixed together, but unless you're going for that look, but in this case I'm not. Okay, so then I've got this scratched piece of paper here, so I'm just going to go over it a couple times and see now no more brown coming out of it. So now I'm ready to switch to my next color. So I'm just going to go over her shirt here. And you see how it took all that lines right out of there. And just smoothed it all out quite nicely. So you don't even see any of the lines from the watercolor pencils. So then again, I'm going to clean my brush. See, get it on some scratch paper and just turn it and twist it to make sure I got all of it off the point, off the tip of this, until it runs clean. Okay, and now I'm going to do the wine. Kind of lightens it up a little bit. And clean that one off. And then I'm going to do the railing. There. Clean that off. And then we have our skirt. And look how it takes all those lines right out of there and makes the color so even and blended so nicely together. We can even bring it down a little bit further if we want. There. And then clean it again one last time. And put the cap back on so it doesn't dry out. And we're done. So now I can attach it to my card. I already created a card base here. This is a regular card base that I scored in half, and then I cut half of the flap off of it and then added a little square piece here. And attached it, and then I'm going to add this right here like that, and then we have our card. I just add a little adhesive on the back, and center it so that we've got a little border all the way around the edge. And then all I have to do is add my sentiment, and I am done. There's my card with my watercolor pencil coloring. So I hope you give it a try, these watercolor pencils, and you can order them on my online store. You can order the blender pens, you can order the Stays on ink, you can order the stamp set. Just about everything I use here you can order on my online store, and I will put that in the comments as well, a link to my online store. And I hope you give this a try and let me know how it works out. You can email me at tammy@tammylovesstamping.com. That's Tammy, and you can share this video with your friends. I would really appreciate that, and you can like the video, and that would help me out as well. And go over to my website if you want to sign up for my newsletter. I will promise not to bombard you with lots of emails if you sign up for my newsletter. I only send out newsletters maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, just when there's some news to share that Stampin' Up! Has. And so I hope you will follow me on Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook. I'm on Facebook as Tammy Loves Stamping as well, and if you can follow me there, and on TikTok. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later, and happy stamping. Bye.